Alright, in today's tutorial, we'll be doing a WordPress one-page site. Here are a lot of the templates to choose from, so you don't necessarily have to do a one-page site, but a lot of individuals and businesses would benefit from a single-page site. The templates you can choose from also have 5-page sites and WooCommerce shops, so it's completely up to you. But the one that we'll be installing in the tutorial is this Vlogger site. It has a modern feel to it with a transparent header. When you click the item in the header, it jumps to the location on the page. So it's a lot less designed to worry about. It gets to the point, you don't have to worry about taking care of 5 different pages. So these these large font, modern looking templates are very nice and clean, and they make a very good starting point. When we get to the point where we look at it in the plugin, you can also adjust the font and the color scheme, so you get to see what changes you're making before you actually add it to your site. The steps to this tutorial: there's 5 steps. They are to get hosting, to install SSL, which is the lock in the address bar, install the theme and plugins, install the template, and customize the template. So let's get started with step 1. Alright, so step 1 is getting hosting, and I'd like to share the host that I use for all my WordPress websites, and that's SiteGround. I kind of use SiteGround as the Goldilocks of hosting, which is they are just the right amount of hosting. They're not cheap hosting, so it's not like good luck, you're completely on your own. And they're not overly managed, overly hosted WordPress sites where you have no control and they're very expensive. Plus with SiteGround, you get free backups for a month, so if you get hacked, you can roll back a day or a week. The chat support is great, and I'll put a tutorial on how to get chat support in the video description. And they are recommended by WordPress.org. So when you go to WordPress.org, look at hosting, they recommend 3 hosts. So being one of the 3 is a pretty big deal. All right, so to get SiteGround, if you use my link in the video description, you can also thank me for making this free tutorial. You actually end up paying the same amount. It's just a way of thanking me for making this free resource. So I'm going to switch over to SiteGround, and what we'll do is we'll just click this WordPress. And if you plan on doing one site, you should probably stick with this one. If you want to do multiple sites, you should probably start with this one. You can always upgrade from the one that you have. So let's just go with this first one. And if we want a new domain, I'm just going to type in a practice domain and proceed. Just so that I can look and see, this is where you would fill in your email and your password for SiteGround. This is where you would get your a lot of your SiteGround account stuff taken care of, like billing. Fill this out. You can see here we have domain registration, probably do domain privacy, and I never do the site scanner, but that's completely up to you. So you can see for a year, it's about $7 a month. So once you pay that, then we're going to install WordPress in the next part of this step, and I'm going to skip to my SiteGround account so that I don't have to create a new account from scratch. Let me go over to that, and I'm going to just do a temporary domain for this tutorial. So once you get your domain confirmed, we're going to start a new website, and you can just choose WordPress. And this is where you are going to put in your email and a password for your WordPress site. So hold on to this stuff. Okay, once WordPress is installed on your new site, you can go to your site, go to your admin, and go to site tools. If you just go to the site, you see you have a blank site. But to log in, we're going to add something to the end of the domain. So go ahead and hit a / wp-login.php. Whatever your domain is, then add a / and do wp-login.php. Okay, once you log in, then you have this SiteGround Starter plugin. We don't need to use this, so go ahead and hit exit. And we're ready for the next step. We have logged into our site. Oh, this SiteGround dashboard is just a little bit cleaner, but if you want the WordPress dashboard, just down here at the bottom, switch to default or switch to the simplified dashboard. Okay, moving on to step 2, which is installing SSL, which is the lockbox in next to your domain in the address bar. If you go to your site, it really helps for this step to be logged into your site and logged into your SiteGround account at the same time. That way, when we change it to SSL, it's usually pretty smooth. So if you follow these steps, if you follow anything in this tutorial, this little order is the way to go. So log into your WordPress site and log into SiteGround. Then go to your site tools under websites. I still have this screen open, so I'm just going to go to site tools. And on the side, we have security, SSL manager. Go ahead, select your domain, select Let's Encrypt, the top one, and get. Okay, once your SSL is installed, you get this green check mark, and you don't have to configure anything more. You can see it right down here. So the next step is to go directly to your WordPress site and go to Settings General. And from Settings General, you can see right here under the URLs, we're going to add an S to each of these. Once you add an S to these and you scroll down to the bottom and save it, you will be kicked out of your site and you'll have to log back in. Once you log back in, you will have the lockbox in the address bar. So let's go ahead and do that, and then we'll be ready for the next step. Okay, we are now on step 3, which is install the theme and the plugins. So we'll go to our WordPress dashboard, Appearance, Themes. Now we're going to add new and type in Astra. Install, activate. Now you can see when you go to your site, the theme looks a little different. Once we get in the template, it'll look a lot better. So that's the theme, and now we'll go to plugins. And you'll see we have some plugins from SiteGround. We have an optimizer, which is great, and we have a security plugin, which is great. So we'll add new, and we will do Astra Starter. Install this first one, activate. These are the starter templates. And then the next two are kind of Elementor is next. Here it is right here. I'll just install it, activate. And then this one is kind of an optional one, a nice SEO plugin, SEOPress, this one right here. Install, activate. All right, so if you go back to plugins, we have all the ones that we need. You can get rid of this SiteGround Central. That was the starter thing, the start screen that we didn't use. but all the other ones are real handy. Now that we have the theme and plugins, we are ready for the next step, which is installing the template, step 4. So let's go to Appearance, Starter Templates. Okay, scroll down to Build Your Website, and we'll be using Elementor for this one. Now the one that I wanted was the one-page vlogger, this one here. So you can browse it and you can upload your logo, but I'm just going to skip. And I'm going to experiment a little with the color palette. See, they can adjust a few of the colors here. Sort of get a feel for how the adjustments look. But you know, I'll just leave it at that. And then here are the fonts to pick from. Nice large fonts are kind of interesting nowadays. So that's the one I'll go with. Go to continue. We want to import customizer settings, import widgets, import content. Just uncheck that for the heck of it and submit. And now it's installing all of the information, the pages. Well, there's one page for this tutorial and all of the photos, all of the blocks. All right, so we just got it installed. Now let's go look at it. Go to my site. Sure enough, it installed well. And we're ready for the we're ready for the final step in the tutorial. Okay, now we're ready to customize our site for the final step of the tutorial. If we go to Pages, we'll see all of the pages that the template site installed. In this case, it was just the one pager. We're going to edit with Elementor. That opens up the Elementor page builder. And within your page, you have these blue sections. So each section can have a number of columns, and within this section, there's an intersection. So this is a one column section. Here's the column here. And within this one column, we have another blue box, which is an intersection. To see the sort of layout, you click this navigator, and you can kind of drill down to each section and see how everything's laid out. To adjust a widget, you just click the widget. Here's the text here. Here's the color here. Here are your theme colors when you click the globe, or you just pick pick a new one. To add a widget, you click this thing at the top and you drag it onto your site. Probably want to adjust that to like 5 or something. Adjust the color. Yeah, so getting used to it's a little bit tricky. This right here is the photo below the intersection. So if we click it, we can upload a different photo. Right here, the photo is, if we click the main section, style, and here's the image here in the background photo. So that's how you would change that. To get the to get the location of where your header will send you, if you click the section, you'll see under Advanced, CSS ID, About Me. So this is what tells the header link to go to About Me. And I'll show you how to do that in a little bit when we get to the gear part. So if you want to use any new widget, you go ahead and drag it on. if you want to use an Elementor Pro widget, you can drag that on. I'll leave a link in the video description if you want to upgrade to Elementor Pro. Here we have another section with the CSS ID vlog. So that'll go to this location on your from your header. And one of the things that you might want for something like this is to embed your YouTube video. So we would go to the widgets, start typing video. Maybe it's you. Here's video. Drag it onto your site. And you would go ahead and change the link to your video right here. You could remove this if you want. All right, so here's the gear section. If I wanted to change this in my header to like skills, I'm going to click this section here. I'm going to go to advanced. I'm just going to call it skills. This is where you would list your skills or maybe your experience. Maybe experience. All right, so I did that, and now I'm going to go adjust that in the header. This is the contact form. It probably installed a contact form widget or plugin, and I'm going to leave a link in the video description on how to connect your form with your SiteGround email. I'm just going to make a short little video for that and leave it in the video description. All right, so this is our one page. If you have a lot of Elementor questions, there's a ton of Elementor tutorials out there. Keep in mind, if you screw up your site, go down here to history and just roll back to getting started to where you started or to any step along the way. And you can roll back and not worry about messing it up, because if you do, you can just roll back. All right, so let's go ahead and update it, and we'll exit to dashboard. And this is the Gutenberg Editor. So this is where you get when you just choose edit, but since it's an Elementor page, we don't really need to do that. All right, so to adjust the header, go to Appearance, Customize, and you can go to Header Builder, or you can just click the widget up here. Brings up your header. These widgets, this is where you add your logo, primary header. All right, configure menu. Here's the primary menu, edit menu. Okay, this is the one I wanted to change, gear. So click the little down arrow, call it experience. And notice that in the header, you have to add the little hashtag. So the difference between our page where we added it, the CSS ID, is we didn't have the little pound sign. But all of these are good to go. They match up. The about me. All right. So go ahead and publish that. And let's visit the site, make sure it works. Experience. And it does. It drops right back down to the gear section that we renamed. That's it for sort of a quick tour on the template site. There will be additional details that you can do, adding a blog page. So I will leave some links in the video description for additional options like a blog page, the email form. Like, you'll notice that under plugins, when you installed the template site, see it installed this forms light. That's what allowed you to have that little intake form at the bottom of the page. If you don't do the email tutorial, you might have trouble sending yourself the form when someone fills it out. So either delete that form and just leave your email to where people can email you, or do the tutorial where with SiteGround you can go ahead and connect your form to your SiteGround email. And that's it for this tutorial. Thanks very much for following along. Feel free to leave any comments in the description, and always appreciate it if you can like or subscribe if you take the time to make it this far. Thanks a lot.